Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Mayor Eugene Foulcard with the City of Franklin. You know, I try to get you guys in here
Yes.
every couple of months, and it's about that time. It's about the midway of the
It's
year.
about midway of the year. You're right.
Yes. So we are midway 2024, and speaking of which, it's July. It's hot. It's summertime. Is the city hurricane prepared?
Yes, we are. As a matter of fact, our Public Works Department, our Public Safety Departments with the police and fire, our Water Department with utilities for water and sewer. We have an ongoing maintenance program where we constantly clean out our catch basins and all of our drainage apparatus throughout Franklin. That is done on a weekly basis, as well as we check our pumps, our generators for the pumps for drainage. The South Willow Street pumping station, the Pecan Acres pumping station, as well as the Fifth Street pumping station. Then, of course, the drainage district handled the Yoakley pumping station. So, you know, all of that is done and checked and properly maintained on a pretty much a weekly basis, where they have to fire up those generators weekly to ensure that everything is operating up to par. And the pumps for the drainage, they're fired up automatically based on the floats. If the water starts rising to a certain level, they automatically fire up. But then during the storms of hurricanes and whatnot, we have our Public Works employees that man these pumps 24/7 to ensure that the city is safe and protected.
Yeah, we haven't actually had an opportunity yet, I don't believe, to have to close the Franklin floodgate. But I know you guys typically do that on a routine.
We have closed the Franklin Canal floodgate for a couple of storms. And I think last year, I can't remember which system, they closed the new one out on the Baldwin or the Sharonton Navigational Canal on the Bayou Tash. Well, that one was closed as well, which basically encircles all of Franklin. It protects Centerville, Verdonville. You have almost a complete ring around this entire area of the western end of the parish, in particular in Franklin, where we're completely protected with a series of floodgates as well as levee protection.
And I can tell you,
we're well protected.
We look forward to the summertime, but I think we also look forward to November. Was that 30th or November 1st?
November 30th is the end date of hurricane season.
Right.
And with the climate changes and the different global warming things that have happened through the years, you could almost have a hurricane in mid-November nowadays. So we still have to stay vigilant and always have a game plan.
Now, you kind of brought up water, so let's kind of talk about that. I know that's kind of a hot topic at one point, the water lines and just the breakage. But there is money for that, right? There's been earmarked for it?
Yes. As a matter of fact, former Senator Brett Island and Representative St. Blum, when Senator Brett Island was on his way out, he was able to secure $2.4 million for the city of Franklin to do some major upgrades in our water plant with filters, transfer pumps, as well as new valves that we'll strategically place around Franklin in key strategic parts of Franklin so that we could seal off different parts of Franklin. There have always been valves throughout Franklin, but they were not geometrically marked or GPS marked. At the time, they didn't have that type of technology, but now we do. So we'll have them geometrically marked so that 50 years from now, another mayor could have his public works director or water and utilities manager pull it up on the cell phone or on a laptop and find out where all of those lines were, because when some of the valves and streets were overlaid or repaired, some of that stuff got cemented or asphalted over, and there was no way to know where they were.
And I use the word earmark because that money has not yet been allocated for that. So as of now, they break, you fix them.
Right now,
at this point.
if a line breaks, we fix it, and we have a very, very old infrastructure. There are lines that are well over 100 years old, but as they break, we fix them and we keep it moving.
Speaking of break, let's go to break. Come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. Again, my guest is Mayor Eugene Foulcard. Talked pretty much about water, and I know that was kind of what was going on. Just to recap really quickly, money, $2.4 million, has been allocated and approved. It's just that, not allocated, excuse me, it's been approved, but not quite allocated as of now.
Exactly.
So when those breaks happen, you have to fix them as you go.
Yes.
However, when the money is allocated, it'll go to valves, and the valves will allow for different sections to be shut down. Instead of shutting down larger areas, you'll be able to isolate it for that one particular section.
Not only for valves, but also for new filters at the water plant, new transfer pumps within the water plant, and there's some upgrades that we'll be doing with the computer system at the water plant as well. So it's a multifaceted rehab that we'll be doing with the 2.4. We're trying to get the best bang for our buck, so we have to do what we can efficiently and very competently and in a smart way, do as much as we can with the 2.4 million. It's not like we're getting 2.4 billion, but 2.4 million, the only way we could eat the elephant is one bite at a time. As I've always said, we have a very old infrastructure system. It didn't get like this overnight. It won't get fixed overnight. So all we can do is do the best we can do and keep forging ahead.
Yeah. Just like everything, I mean, everything's going up.
Yes.
What about water rates?
Water rates, as a matter of fact, last night at our meeting on July 15th, which was last night, I went over some discussion items on the Louisiana Rural Water Association coming in free of charge to do a complete independent rate study for the city of Franklin, which assesses where we are with our water rates, what is the proposed amount that we need to go up on with our water rates, because anytime you have many of the broken water lines that we've been having, that is treated water that has already been treated in the water plant that is spilling out into the streets of Franklin that has been treated. So that is water loss. Yes. We have maintenance of facilities that we have to have as an ongoing process. So there are different variables in there that go into the water rate study that we're going to take all of that and look at it. And as we go through our annual audit each year, our auditors will also come back and say, you all need to reassess your water rates, because you're barely keeping your nose above water, no pun intended, because you have to still operate in an efficient manner to also look after your constituents, but also you have to make sure your city is almost not going bankrupt because you're subsidizing your water and utilities, such as we just recently analyzed a 30% increase from CLECO with our street light fees. We've gone from $176,000 per year in the street light fees to $233,000 per year. So that's a $57,000 per year jump that we just can't eat that cost. So we're going up $1.50 from $5 to $6.50 for street light fees, so that we still have to be fiscally responsible, and we have a duty as a mayor and council that we run the city in a business-like and very efficient manner, and we have to pass that cost on. As much as we don't want to,
right,
we have to, and I don't worry about the next election, because there are many folks who are afraid to go up on their water rates and this, that, or the other, because they don't want to jeopardize the next election. Well, I don't operate like that. I just believe in doing what's right and doing what's fair for the citizens, and so that, another 40 years from now, someone don't have to worry about what I'm dealing with right now.
Right. Okay. I mean, CLECO went up on theirs
Yes.
as well. So, like you said, it has to be passed down.
Yes.
I don't like that either, but
Yes.
it had to happen, right?
That's
We're going
right.
to take another break. Come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Let's get right back into it. It's the summertime. Kids are out. What is there for the kids to do this summer?
Well, I'm glad that you've asked that. We've had a number of activities that we had lined up for the entire summer for the kids in Franklin. We had our annual summer feeding program where we fed the kids from 1 to 18 years old breakfast and lunch at the Franklin Recreation Center, and the kids from Broussard Harris, we would bus them over to the Franklin Rec, because we had a major renovations going on really at both of our centers with our HVAC grant that we've been doing to replace our heating and cooling system at both of the centers. But one was a little bit further along than the other, so we had to kind of flip-flop so that we could get the kids fed.
So I'm going to tell you, that's one thing I hadn't necessarily heard from many municipalities, and that is busing the kids to the summer feeding program. Is that something you offer all the time, or was it just for that?
No, it was just for this particular summer because of the renovation work that we have going on at Broussard Harris with the HVAC system. And we couldn't have all of the kids in the center while all of that work was being done.
Right.
So we would have the kids driven by bus from Broussard Harris across town to the Franklin Recreation Center. And it worked out. We had about 30, 40 kids per day that would ride the bus from the Broussard Harris area of Franklin to the Franklin Recreation side of Franklin. So we were able to still service all of those kids. They still had a number of activities to do all day at the center, and we had both of the wading pools set up at both of our sites at Broussard Harris and City Park. So we were excited about that. The wading pools, they were a big hit this summer, as always.
I have lived here now for a little while, and I have never heard of these wading pools.
Yes.
I need to go out there and check that out.
You need to check it out.
Yeah.
Those pools have been servicing the city of Franklin probably over 55 years. Those wading pools have been down for some time, and they've been properly maintained, and they're still servicing the city, and the kids have always enjoyed the wading pools.
Gotcha. Now, we're going to take, since we're talking about the kids, I do want to transition to another kind of hot topic, and that is crime.
Yes.
I look at the reports often. I think this is one of those interviews where I can say I haven't seen a big uptick. What does the data say?
Well, the data has shown that since April of 2023, since Chief Handy has taken over, we've had a 42% decrease in overall crime throughout Franklin. And that's, no slight against any other chief or anyone else, but he's kind of shifted and changed some of the ways that the patrols are being done, where we have more visibility, and that serves as a deterrent with the way that he's adjusted the patrol division and patrolling all sections and all parts of Franklin. And I really believe that has served as a deterrent, not only for overall crime with thefts and break-ins and things of that sort, but it has also slowed down a great deal of the shots fired that we had in Franklin, since the pandemic. I guess between 2020 and 2022, it was, all over the nation. We had pretty much, it was like the OK Corral, and so he's really slowed down a great deal of the shots fired throughout Franklin.
Something that I was able to attend, and that was a town hall meeting. Do you foresee that continuing?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he's possibly looking to do one sometime in late July or in August or sometime. Okay. I just have to nail the date down, and he's going to do another, it's called a PACE meeting.
That's
where
right.
He has the community policing apparatus, and we recently had a very nice function at Bruce Out Harris Park where all of the officers came out and participated with all of the park goers and the people that came out for this fun day Sunday in the park, and they gave the officers an opportunity to meet and greet a great deal of the citizens in the park.
All right, we're going to go to break. Come on back. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. We're ending it all here, but we want to end it kind of on a big note here. Yes. A major project which has been completed, and I'm talking about lots and lots of years, and I'm sure the folks who live along Casey Street are relieved that the project has been done. Tell us a little bit about the completion of the Casey Street overlay project.
The old saying that patience is a virtue is really, really true, because we have been working on the Casey Street project for well over 18 years. It's been some time that we've worked on the Casey Street project with, as we set our 5-year capital outlay project, where the Casey Street project had been in the works since 2006. And if we went back and checked on some other things, they may have been working on different plans for Casey Street for some time. Casey Street had basically started collapsing because of the degradation of the street. Not only did we have to work on having the street overlaid, we also had to address major drainage issues, because a great deal of storm water or rainwater that flowed off of the Weber Street area flows toward Casey Street, which ultimately ends up in the Yoakley, in which we've done the widening of the Yoakley Canal as well. But with Casey Street, we addressed the overlaying and resurfacing of the entire street of Casey Street, from Iberia and Casey to Main and Casey. Then we also addressed drainage issues. We addressed some water line issues, and there was about a 50-plus year sewer line that came off of the Sanders Street, Casey Street area that did like a dog leg cut across Casey, and it causes some major sewer issues, so we were able to fix that as well. So it was a project that was well worth it. It was a $2.3 million project, and we're very glad that we were able to do that. And that's what I've always said: when you shop local, spend local, eat local, fuel local, those added tax dollars help us with the 25% match that we have to cover with these. I've heard folks at one time say that Casey Street was a bunch of smoke and mirrors, that we'll never get Casey Street redone.
I've heard it too. Yeah.
Well, I've always say that we're from Missouri, we're the Show Me State, Show Me City, but I believe in action and solving problems and solving long-term problems that had been in existence for some time.
Let's talk economic development, particularly the tire plant. We were introduced to this Kumho Tires, the kind of a partnership almost, and this was back in January of last year, 2023.
Yeah, January of 23, an agreement was signed between Kumho Tires and the Mellis Group. And again, I've always been a person that I have to see some action to, I guess, really start putting some effort behind it. But when I saw the president of Kumho Tires USA come into Baton Rouge to sign off on the agreement along with his vice president and the chief operating officer, along with representatives from the Port of Orleans, the chairman of the Port of Orleans and the CEO of the Port of New Orleans. They were in Baton Rouge to sign this contract between Kumho and the Mellors Group. I felt somewhat better that this is something that could possibly come to fruition. I'm the eternal optimist, and at the same time, I'm a realist as well.
Okay.
But at the same time, I do know that it is slowly moving forward.
Okay.
It's not dead.
Okay.
It's not stuck in the water. But I
Okay.
think it's just a matter of working out the agreement that they have to work out with the property and the property owners with the sale of the property. So they're working on it.
Thank you. See you guys next time. Thank you.
Okay.